Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Rashmi and today I'm going to show you how to make a 3D padded heart. We are going to start off with red bit of yarn and I am going to be using a 3mm hook, okay? Okay, we're going to start off with a magic circle. To do this, you're going to wrap the yarn around your fingers like this, okay? And turn your fingers over. We're going to be working with this end. Stick your crochet underneath the first bit and pull up a loop like this, okay? Keep this loop a little bit loose so it makes the next step quite easy, okay? Yarn over like this and pull through the same loop that was on your crochet like this, okay? Now that makes your magic circle. Okay, now we are going to do 4 single crochets in this circle, okay? So slip your crochet inside this circle and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through both of those loops. That makes your 1 single crochet. Okay, next one again, under the loop, pull up a loop. And there we go, that's 2 single crochets. In you go, the magic circle. In the magic circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. And the last time, and there you go. Okay, got 4 single crochets in your magic circle. We're going to go ahead and close this by pulling on this side of the yarn, okay? Once we've done this, we are going to close this round off by doing a slip stitch. To do the slip stitch, you're going to find your first single crochet. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my first single crochet that I did. I'm going to stick my crochet inside these, inside this stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, okay? And this loop, I'm going to make it go through the other loop that I already had on my crochet. That completes this round, okay? Now the next round, we're going to start off with chain 1, okay? And we're going to have an increase in this round. So when we have an increase, we are going to have 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So starting off with the very first stitch right here, you're going to have 2 single crochets in the same stitch. That's 1 and that's 2, okay? Next one, you're going to again have 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Keep repeating this in every single stitch, okay? And the last stitch here, we're going to slip our crochet in the stitch, pull up a loop and make a single crochet. Okay, now this should bring our stitch count to 8. We're going to now connect this to the first single crochet. Be aware that when you did 1 chain, that it almost looks like a stitch as well, okay? We're going to ignore that and we're going to go into our first stitch, which is right here. So first single crochet. Okay, yarn over, pull up a loop and make it go through the first loop. So that completes your second round, okay? Now starting off again with chain 1, okay? Now we're going to have 1 single crochet in the same stitch here. And we're going to follow this with an increase, okay? So the next stitch is going to have 2 single crochets. That's 1 and there's the second one, that's 2. 2 single crochets. Next stitch is going to have 1 and the one after that is going to have 2, okay? 1 in the next one, 2 in the one after that. One, and now I'm on my last stitch here and 2 in this stitch right there. There we go. Now to complete this round, I'm going to do a slip stitch in my first single crochet, which is right here. Okay, that completes your round 3. This is what my work looks like so far. It's taking shape slowly but surely. Start off with chain 1, okay? We're going to go back into the same stitch and do 1 single crochet again. The next stitch is going to also have 1 single crochet and the stitch after that is going to have 2 single crochets. Now at this point, your increases should be matching, okay? So the increase from your previous round should match with the increase from this round. So follow this with 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then 2 in the same stitch. One single, 1 more single, and then 2 in the same stitch, like this. 1 single, 1 single, and 2 in my last stitch here. There we go. Okay, now we are going to close this round off by again doing a slip stitch in our first single crochet. Okay, connect it like this, and that completes this round. Now next round, start off with chain 1 again. We're going to go back into the same space and do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet again, and 1 more single crochet. So 3 single crochets, 1 in each stitch, and then follow this by an increase. So 2 single crochets in one stitch. So 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Now here, 1, 1, 1, and then 2. Keep following this method, okay? So 1 single, 2 singles, 3, and then 2 in the same stitch. 1 and 2. 1, 2, and 3, and then follow with a double. Follow this with a 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now that brings our round 5 to a completion. Okay, so we're going to stick our crochet into the first single crochet and pull up a loop and go through the loop that we had on our crochet to complete a slip stitch. Okay, and that's what our work looks like currently, and we should have a total of 20 stitches all around our circle here. Now next round, we're going to yarn over, make a chain like this, and we're going to start with a single crochet in the same space again. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 single crochets, 1 in every single stitch, and then 2 in the same stitch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then 2 in the same one. 1 and 2, 4, and the last one, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And that's our end of round 6. Okay, so let's put this crochet into the first single crochet and pull up a loop and make it go through the loop that we had on our crochet already. Now that completes our round 6, and we're going to start with round 7. This time around again, chain 1. We're going to put our crochet back into the same space and do 1 single crochet. Follow this by 4 more single crochets to make the count altogether 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 single crochets followed by an increase. So here we go, 1 and 2. Keep going all the way around. So 5 single crochets, 3, 4, and 5, followed by an increase of 2 single crochets in the same stitch. 5 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Follow this with an increase. There we go. Now that brings our round 7 to an end, and we are going to finish this off by connecting our last loop to the first single crochet like this. Okay. Now in this one, our stitch count should be 28 altogether. Okay, so for the next round we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to count 13 stitches, and we're going to connect this with the stitch after that. Okay, so skip 13 stitches. So let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So this one is my stitch number 14. So I'm going to stick my crochet in there, pull up a loop and go through the first loop that I had on my crochet already, like this. Okay, and that connects the 2 bits together. Okay, here we are. Let's just double check that it's actually the same size on both sides. Okay, because we don't want to find out later when it's too late. Now round number 9, we're going to have 1 single crochet in every single stitch. Okay, so go ahead, chain 1, starting with the stitch next to the chain 1. So 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you should have 14 single crochets all around here, and now we're going to go ahead and do 2 single crochets in the chain 2 that we did as well. Okay, so that's 1 and that's the second one. 2 single crochets there. Okay, so that brings our stitch count to 16 altogether. So let's slip stitch this into our first single crochet that we did, which is right around here. Okay, let's go around one more time with just singles again. Okay, so we're going to go chain 1 straight into the next stitch. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 14, 15, and the last one, there you are, 16. Okay, so the stitch count should not change in this round because we have only done 1 single crochet in every single stitch. Okay, slip stitch this to the first single crochet here. Okay, and that completes our round, this round as well. Okay, in this round we are going to start with 1 single crochet in the same space as the chain 1. Follow this with 1 more single crochet, and then you're going to have a decrease. Okay, to do the decrease, you're going to put your crochet stick into the first stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the second stitch, pull up a loop without doing anything, and now you should have 3 bits of yarn on your crochet. Yarn over, pull through all 3. This is considered as a decrease, okay, because it's reducing the number of stitches, and this is still considered as 1 single crochet. So let's carry on. So start with 1 single crochet, 1 more single crochet, and then you're going to do another decrease. Stick your crochet in the stitch, pull up a loop without doing anything to this, stick your crochet in the next stitch and pull up a loop. And now yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. 1 single crochet, 1 more single crochet, followed with another decrease. There we are. and we should be able to fit one more decrease in there. So one single crochet, one single crochet, and one more decrease in there. Okay, there we go. There we've got 2 stitches left, and that completes this round as well. We're going to again do a slip stitch into our first single crochet, okay, to close this round off. Now in this round we're going to have 1 single crochet followed by 1 decrease. Okay, so go back into the same stitch where the chain 1 was and do 1 single crochet there. Okay, next bit we're going to have a decrease, so 1 single crochet in 2 stitches, followed by 1 single crochet in 1 stitch, then 1 single crochet in 2 stitches. Just like this, go all the way around until you're back to the start. And the last decrease we've got is here, 1 and 2, and go through both of them. Close this round by doing a slip stitch in the first single crochet like this. Now in this round we've only got the tiniest bit of gap left which we want to close off. Okay, so we're going to have just the decreases. Okay, so chain 1, and we're going to go into every single stitch and just do a decrease. So pull up a loop, next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Keep turning your heart around like this. Okay, so 1 and 2, yarn over, pull through both. I think we can fit one more in, 1 and 2, close it off. Now we've finished our round of decreases, but we still got a tiny gap. So to complete this off and seal it off, we're going to just go on the opposite side and stick our crochet through one of the stitches. Just pull up a loop like this and do a slip stitch in here. Okay, now that completes one side of our heart like this. Okay, I'm going to just tighten this, pull a little bit longer bit, and I'm going to snip it off from here. The next part is the stuffing, but before we do that, stick your crochet in through this side and come out right on the top. Okay, yarn over and pull through this loop so you don't have to work it in later. So you can just simply go inside that and it's complete perfectly like that. Now go ahead and fill it with the teddy bear filling. We're going to start off by filling the top space on this side. You can now obviously put as much as you like or as little as you like to make it as firm as possible. Okay, now I've just stuffed one side. I'm just going to do a little bit more on this side and then I'm going to complete this later. Okay, so here we go. So this is what I've got so far. Okay, from here we're going to connect our yarn that we snipped off back at the beginning here in this side. Okay, so to do this, just be aware the outside is actually the back of the work. We have been working on the inside. Okay, so you are going to connect your yarn accordingly. So take your bit of yarn, we're going to stick our crochet in this stitch which is right next to where we started our other work. Okay, so stick your crochet in here and we are going to pull up this loop through there. Now go ahead and tie this off so it's nice and secure in there. Okay, and the extra bit, just put that back inside with the filling as well, so you don't need to work it in or snip it off or anything like that. It's just tucked under. Okay, now from here go into the stitch that's next to it. So this is where we tied our work off. We're going to go into this stitch here. Okay, so put your crochet through that stitch. Okay, yarn over and pull up a loop like this. All right, now from here we're going to have chain 1 and go back into the same stitch and start with single crochets all around. So that's 1 single crochet. Remember, on this side we had 16 single crochets, so on this side as well we have to make sure that there are 16 single crochets for the heart to look proportionate. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and it's very easy to miss this stitch, guys. There's one right next to where this work started. That's number 14, okay? So you should have 14 all the way around here. And then you've got the chain 2 here as well that we had. Okay, so go back into the chain 2. Expose the work like this by pulling it over. Okay, and then we're going to go from the bottom up, okay? Stick through this. Number 15. And one more. 16. Okay, now we've got 16 single crochets on here. We're going to connect this with our first single crochet, which is right around here. Go ahead and connect that with a slip stitch. There we go. Okay, so chain 1, back into the same stitch and start off with single crochets all around. That's 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and the last one is here, 16. Okay, now slip stitch this back into the first single crochet, which is right here. There we go. From here we're going to start working our decreases in. Okay, so start off with chain 1 and a single crochet in the same space, followed by 1 more single crochet. That's 2 single crochets, and then follow and do a decrease in the next 2 stitches. So you're going to put your crochet in the next stitch, pull up a loop, repeat the process, put your crochet in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Now you've got 3 loops on your crochet. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, again back on 2 singles, so 1 single, 2 single, followed by another decrease. 1, 2, 1 single, 2 singles, a decrease. I think this one is the last one, so 1 single, 2 singles, and then a decrease. So that's 1 and 2 stitches. Now before you actually connect this, I would say fill your heart up as much as you can. Okay, so pull this string up so that we don't lose that stitch. Okay, push the filling in where you want it and complete filling your heart, because now we're going to close it off. Okay, we're going to be working on closing it off. Now once you're happy with the amount of filling you've got, put your crochet back in, tighten the loop around your crochet, and we're going to close this round by doing a slip stitch in our first single crochet, which is right around here. Okay, slip your crochet in and do a slip stitch. If you would like to, you can certainly make use of stitch markers here. It's a personal preference, so it's entirely up to you. Okay, next round we're going to start with chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, then followed by a decrease. Okay, so 1 single crochet in 2 stitches like this. Again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the 2 stitches after that, like this. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. There we go. Okay, 1 single crochet and 1 single in the next 2 stitches like this. Okay, now I think there is some more room for a little bit more filling, so I'm just going to put that in as well. Okay, right, now close this round by connecting it with the first single crochet that we had right there, and we're just going to close that gap off by doing only the only decreases. Okay, so 1 chain, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull up a loop, or pull through all 3 of them. Next one, 1, 2, we should be able to fit 1 more in. That's 1, 2, and go through all 3. 1 and 2. And once we finish this, there is still a tiny bit of gap, so we're going to put the crochet in the opposite stitch like this. Okay, yarn over and do a slip stitch right there like this. Okay, now we're going to pull a long bit of yarn like that, and we're going to snip it off at the end. Pull it right through and tighten this stitch, guys. Okay, now just to give it a bit more of a shape, just so that the filling is distributed perfectly. Okay, that's what we've got. Now we're going to take a darning needle and we are going to stitch this bit of yarn inside. Okay, so from here we just want to secure this in place. Okay, so just go across like this and just loop once, and after this just put it opposite direction, so it's going all the way in opposite direction, and once it sticks out from the other end, wherever it comes out from, there it goes. We're just going to pull through. Okay, not too tightly, otherwise this part will sink in and we don't want that to happen. Okay, so make sure that doesn't sink in. From here we're just going to snip it very closely to the work, and that completes our heart. Here you go. If you enjoyed doing this with me today, guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.